Hi, I'm Jen. This is Selwyn. And Selwyn has an amazing head of curly hair. The only thing is, Selwyn hasn't trimmed in 1 year. So that gets a lot of little broken pieces and ends that change down the curl pattern. So what we're gonna do today is trim the ends and give a little bit of shaping to Selwyn's hair. I've already pre-washed his hair with Hairstory's New Wash to just give it some moisture and work through a little bit of product and pulled out the curl gently. Because for me, the best way to cut curly hair is to leave it in its natural state. So this is so I can see all the individual curls separated and cut accordingly and look at the hair and let it tell me how it needs to be shaped and where to do what. So now we're gonna start. I'm starting at the nape of Selwyn's neck, just pulling out some of the individual curls and looking at them. You see these straight ends with the type of curl changes. I'm just gonna cleanly snip those off. Because Selwyn doesn't want to lose a lot of length, but he just wants to keep it healthy. And I'll go through sections looking at the ends of each curl and taking off the dead straight ends. Right now, I'm thinking more about the health than the shape. I'll go in and begin shaping it a little later. I'm concentrating on just getting all the dead ends off. See these little pieces. And when you get rid of these ends, it helps keep your curls from becoming very fuzzy. A lot of people with curly hair always get worried about losing the length, but it's great to keep it trimmed and healthy. It'll help your hair grow more and be just is much more manageable. Got a little gray hair in here, Selwyn. little wisdom.
Yeah, I like to keep it wise.
Cutting dry like this really allows you to custom the haircut to each individual person because sometimes on one head there's different curl patterns throughout. So cutting dry, you really get to see the hair in its natural state and really are able to go in individually on each specific curl. I can't stress enough the importance of keeping your hair trimmed. It doesn't mean you have to cut off tons of length, but it's really important to keep it healthy, to keep it from splitting and growing up the hair shaft with all the little broken ends. See, look at the curl. It's a stronger pattern closer towards the root, and when you get to the ends, you see all the fuzzy because that's the hair that needs to be trimmed and clean. You just make a clean cut across and just take away those dead ends so that he has better curl formation. And if you pull a curl and you also see more hair splitting up the hair shaft, you can just pull it out and just trim around it. Just to get rid of those pieces. When I'm trimming hair like Selwyn's or curly afros. I prefer to do it dry, and I don't really go in and make tons of sections when I'm just cleaning the ends. I really use my eyes a lot to customize it. I look at the hair and you can clearly see where the curl pattern differs, and I go in and take that off. But generally I start at the back of the neck, the nape, and work my way around towards the front. Just gently shaping, looking at each curl, seeing what needs to be cleaned up. This is just the cleaning. Now that may be different if I'm going to do a true haircut on a curly and I'm creating a very structural shape. Then I might section out more and really take different partings. But this is a little more custom, a little more freehand, and I really let his hair dictate what I'm going to do. Okay, so now that I've went in and I've cut off the dead ends, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my pick and I'm actually gonna lift the roots a little before I start to shape, just because I wanna give it a little bit of lift and pull out the shape a little bit before I actually go in and put in a little bit of shape to it. Because he has a few pieces that are a little long in the front, a little uneven in the back, and I just want to create just a more cohesive shape for him without, again, losing too much length. So I'm just using my pick just down in the roots, giving it a lift. I'm not picking through because I don't want to comb out his curl pattern. I just want to lift a bit. You're going to rely on your mirror here and look at the shape. You're going to be looking at his face, shape of his face, as well as where the hair falls. I like to have a little bit of volume in through the top, but here, this side is rounded where this side is straightening out here. So I know I'm going to want to go in and just even up each side. I'm using my fingers now just in through the roots and pulling it out and looking at the shape. So as I'm cutting the shape, I'm not really starting at any particular place. I'm thinking about what shape I want to see on Selwyn's face, and I kind of work with that. It's a very organic procedure. You kind of make it work based on the style, the texture, and what you want to see. Now we'll start shaping. So I want to even up this side to match that side. The thing about cutting curly hair like this, you might not touch some areas when you're shaping. You only need to trim and cut according to what area needs shape put into it. So I'm looking and I'm looking at pieces of hair and where it needs it. His hair and his curls truly dictate the shape. For this particular technique, this is why it has to be dry, just so you can see all the curls separated out evenly and you know where it's needed. So as I'm cutting, I stop, I step back, I look at the hair and I start to see the shape starting to form. And then I see other areas where they need to be trimmed more to put the shape in. So Selwyn's not losing a lot of length, but he's getting an overall better shape. Now that we really have the shape that I want to see, I'm still stepping back a little bit and just taking a look at it and see any areas that I want to just perfect a little more. And you do that periodically. Cut and shape and then move back a little bit. Take a look at it, see if it's falling where you want. So once you're happy with the shape, then I just go in with my pick again and just lift out at the roots. just so I can see if it's falling exactly how I like. And I like a big afro, so I don't mind stretching it out. You too?
Same.
All right, there we have it. Cleaned, shaped, and healthy. Okay, so Selwyn's hair now, it has his shape put in. We cleaned off the dead ends. And now it just has a more uniform curl pattern to it, taking away all the little ends. So if you want to see any more curly hair stories, straight hair stories, any kind of hair stories, subscribe below. Thank you. I'm Jen. See you soon.